On today's season premiere of Green Bay Nation, we all witnessed the start of a new defensive regime in Green Bay, and what takeaways were there in the Packers' season opening win? Plus, we look ahead to their Week 2 matchup against the Vikings. That's coming up next on Green Bay Nation.
Green Bay Nation, your #1 source for Packers news and analysis. Featuring Andy Hurt, Marcus Eversole, and your host, Lily Zhao. Green Bay Nation, starting now.
Hello, welcome to another season of Green Bay Nation. Guys, it is great to be back. Lily Zhao here, joining me to chat everything about the green and gold. Well, he's a radio host on 107.5 and 1400 The Fan. That's Marcus Eversole down there, and he's an editor and writer for Packer Report and creator of the Pack-A-Day podcast, Andy Herman. Guys, it's great to have you both back for another season of Green Bay Nation. Football has graced our TVs once again. It's the best time of the year, isn't it?
It absolutely is. I finally know what I'm going to do with my life for the next 4 or so months, and that's football all the time.
Yeah, we finally made it back. Football's back. We got a first opening win. It couldn't be more perfect.
And I noticed that Marcus has some garb on that we'll talk about a little bit later, the hat and the shirt. But, you know, the NFL kicked off its 100th season with the league's oldest rivalry last Thursday night. We saw the Packers top the Bears 10-3 at Soldier Field. And as that game kind of played out, guys, did you expect that kind of outcome at all?
No, I expected the defense to be better this year and kind of come out firing on all cylinders early on and maybe carry the load for the Packers. Didn't expect the 10-3 game, though. The 13 total points in the first game of the year, that part I didn't see.
Yeah, a defensive struggle wasn't necessarily shocking. These, I think, are going to be two very good defenses as the season progresses. But when you talk about a 10-3 game, like Marcus mentioned, certainly not something that I would have expected going in. Was really excited about a Mike Pettin matchup against Matt Nagy. Two very creative minds that are going to get to go against each other, having a whole offseason. And it was just fun to watch, and Mike Pettin certainly won that battle.
All right, well, the debut of the highly anticipated new Matt LaFleur, Aaron Rodgers offense was less than dazzling. They had minus 12 yards in the first quarter. What did you guys really make of the new scheme, and kind of how long until everything starts clicking offensively?
Well, really nowhere to go but up, I feel like. I mean, and it's not entirely surprising. Again, not only is it the first time we saw the new system with the starters in a game setting, because they didn't play it all in the preseason, but you could make the argument that the Bears defense is going to be their toughest matchup all season. And it's the first game of the year, you know, a lot of newness and probably not the most ideal opponent right out of the gates. But it was exciting to see some different things just schematically. You can kind of see building blocks where they might go from there.
Yeah, not only the toughest defense they'll probably face all season, but the toughest defense they'll probably face all season on the road. And the opening night game, the crowd is completely jacked up. And like Marcus said, you know, a very tough first game to have for your introductory, image to the offense with Matt LaFleur. So tough matchup, and it was kind of as expected, a little bit of a tough battle.
Well, Aaron Rodgers said post-game he needs to be better, and did he kind of look rusty in game one to you guys, or is it just kind of him getting readjusted to a new offense against a really tough defense?
I guess the easy answer would be yes,
right.
Like a little bit of both. At the same time, though, over Rodgers' career, we haven't seen him really underthrow anybody. He's never had any shortage of arm strength. And even on Marquez Valdes-Scantling's bomb, which was their best play offensively, left a little bit out there. Now, I know in the offseason he was talking about how MVS is just so fast, it's kind of hard to hook up timing with a guy that fast, but he was a little rusty. I mean, frankly, I think he was a little rusty, so he'll be better, and he's critical of himself, so.
Like you said, nowhere to go but up, and the thing that's really great, too, is he did make mention of the fact that he wants to be better going forward, and that's going to be, you know, maybe a learning point for him. But one of the things that was a little bit disappointing was seeing some of those same mechanical flaws kind of rear their ugly head in the same game. There were 4 different passes. There was a pass at Jimmy Graham's feet at the very beginning of the game. At the end of the game, you had MVS have to, kind of bat down a pass to prevent maybe a pick six to tie the game. And just a couple other passes that were behind receivers. Trevor Davis had to go low for a pass. Jimmy Graham had to kind of reach completely behind him. So just some of those type of things that you would have liked to see get, kind of cleaned up a little bit in training camp. The question is going to be, will that continue to happen as time goes on?
And guys, there were some new monsters of the Midway, and they were dressed in the green and gold as per Marcus's shirt, Pettin 316, right? Is that what it says?
That's right.
Yep. His crew obviously stole the show, so is this the start of something special defensively in Green Bay?
It could be. I'm excited about the defense. I think there's a lot to be excited about. At the same time, it is one game, and we've seen the Packers defense look really good against the Chicago Bears. That's it. That's all we've seen. So we'll see week 2. I know we'll talk about the Vikings. That's going to be a bit of a challenge. But to think you had a 10-3 game and Matt Nagy and the Bears only attempted 15 run plays, like, why? I mean, the Packers defense looked good, and Mike Pettin deserves a ton of credit. But if I'm a Bears fan, I'm thinking, Matt Nagy, what are you doing?
Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter mention it was like playing your little brother in Madden, and he forgets that he actually has to run the football too, to kind of create balance on offense. So that was very questionable and very, something that you had no idea why he did it that way. But I think the defense is legit. I think we are going to get a team that has no real attackable holes on defense. They really went out and got some great free agents, some great draft picks, and I think it's going to be exciting to watch as the season goes along.
And guys, I quickly wanted to touch upon the trio of free agents Brian Gutekunst signed. He gave up some serious cash. Got Za'Darius and Preston Smith along with safety Adrian Amos. Those guys had a huge impact. So in one word, give me what you kind of think this trio brings and brought to the team.
Impact. I mean, it's hard to even imagine this defense without those free agent signings. They were so important. I mean, 2.5 sacks between Za'Darius and Preston. I think 16 combined pressures. The game-sealing pick from Adrian Amos. I mean, those are 3 key players on their defense. It's a whole new identity now.
Yeah, I'm going to go with talent. Mike Pettin last year, we recognized multiple times how he was kind of doing work with not a lot of pieces to the puzzle. And there's 5 players that were on that defense that aren't even in the NFL anymore. He now has some serious talent on that defense, and he got to show what he can do with that talent.
Awesome. Love this, guys. All right, when we come back from the break, the Packers face their second divisional opponent in as many weeks. We'll chat about the Vikings coming up next. Keep it here.